The Kraxith had been unstoppable for 3 centuries. Their biomechanical fleets had consumed 17 civilizations, stripped 42 star systems of resources, and left nothing but debris fields where thriving worlds once orbited. The galaxy had learned to fear the sound of their quantum drives tearing through subspace, a shriek that preceded annihilation. Ozan stood on the observation deck of the UES Retribution, watching the Kraxith armada through the reinforced, transparent aluminum. 2,000 vessels, each the size of a small moon, their organic hulls pulsing with bioluminescent veins. They orbited the dying world of Kepler 442b, harvesting the last of its atmosphere. "They don't even know we're here," Zara said, materializing beside him. Her holographic form flickered slightly, a remnant of the quantum entanglement that bound her consciousness to the ship's neural network. She had been human once, 200 years ago, before the procedure that made her immortal and inseparable from the Retribution. Ozan didn't look at her. He couldn't. Every time he saw her translucent face, he remembered that she had sacrificed everything to become the ship's living core. "How long until the void drive is fully charged?" 17 minutes, Zara replied. Her voice carried an echo, as if speaking from multiple dimensions simultaneously. "Ozan, you need to understand what will happen when we activate it. The energy signature will be visible across 3 parsecs. Every Kraxith vessel within range will converge on our position." "That's the plan." Ozan's jaw tightened. He was 28. But his eyes held the weariness of someone who had witnessed too much death. The Kraxith had destroyed his homeworld when he was 17. He had watched from an escape pod as Earth's continents cracked and burned. The Retribution was humanity's last desperate gambit. Built in secret over 50 years within the gravitational shadow of a collapsed star, the warship incorporated technology that shouldn't have existed. The void drive was reverse-engineered from a derelict ship found drifting at the edge of explored space, a vessel from a civilization that had existed before the current universe's formation, from the previous cosmic cycle. Zara's hologram walked through a bulkhead, her form passing through solid matter as easily as air. "The probability matrices are troubling. There's a 47% chance the void drive will create a cascading spacetime fracture. We could tear a hole in reality itself. Better than letting them reach the core worlds." Ozan finally turned to face her. "How many species have they exterminated, Zara? How many billions?" "Trillions," she corrected softly. "But if we miscalculate, we won't." He moved to the command console, his neural implants interfacing with the ship's systems. Through Zara's connection, he could feel the Retribution as if it were his own body. Every reactor, every weapon system, every quantum-locked particle waiting to be unleashed. "Begin the sequence." The ship shuddered. Deep in its core, the void drive began to spin, bending space-time into impossible geometries. The drive worked on a principle that violated conventional physics. It didn't move the ship through space, but rather moved space around the ship, creating a bubble of folded dimensions. But more than that, it weaponized the fundamental fabric of reality. "They've detected us," Zara announced. The holographic tactical display showed the Kraxith fleet reorienting. Hundreds of bio-ships began accelerating toward the Retribution, their plasma weapons charging with violet light. "Let them come," Ozan whispered. The first wave of Kraxith ships opened fire. Coherent plasma beams capable of vaporizing continents struck the Retribution's shields. The ship rocked, but held. The shields weren't electromagnetic or particle-based. They were quantum probability fields that made it uncertain whether the attacks had actually connected. "Void drive at 92%, Zara reported. Her holographic form was now completely motionless, all her processing power diverted to managing the reality-bending energies building in the drive core. More Kraxith ships arrived. The space around the Retribution became a hurricane of weapons fire. The ship's automated defense systems responded, launching singularity missiles that collapsed into micro-black holes, each one devouring dozens of enemy vessels. But for every ship destroyed, 3 more took its place. "Void drive fully charged," Zara said. "Ozan, once I activate this, there's no turning back. The energy release will be—" "Do it!" Reality screamed. The void drive didn't just activate, it inverted. Space folded inside out, and for one eternal microsecond, the Retribution existed everywhere and nowhere simultaneously. The ship became a singularity of ordered chaos, a point of absolute certainty in an uncertain universe. And then it released. The wave propagated outward at speeds that made light seem stationary. It wasn't an explosion, it was an undoing. Where the wave touched the Kraxith ships, their biomechanical systems simply ceased to function. Not destroyed, not damaged, but unmade. The quantum bonds holding their molecules together forgot how to exist. 2,000 warships dissolved into their constituent atoms, then into subatomic particles, then into pure energy. The wave continued expanding, reaching the edges of the star system, but its destructive power was precisely calibrated. It affected only Kraxith technology. Their unique biomechanical signatures were the only things the wave recognized as targets. When the light faded, the Retribution hung alone in empty space. Where an armada had been, there was now only cooling gas and scattered electromagnetic radiation. Ozan collapsed into the command chair, his neural implants smoking from the feedback. Through his connection to the ship, he had felt every Kraxith death, millions of minds extinguished in an instant. "It worked," Zara said quietly. Her hologram was barely visible now, flickering like a candle in wind. "The void drive consumed 98% of the ship's power reserves. We'll need 3 weeks to recharge." "We won't need to," Ozan said, pulling up long-range scans. "Look." Across the galaxy, quantum comboys were lighting up with reports. Kraxith fleets everywhere had simultaneously ceased their attacks and begun retreating toward their home territories. The hive mind species, connected across light years through quantum entanglement, had felt the death of their armada. They had felt the impossibility of what humanity had done. For the first time in 300 years, the galaxy knew silence instead of screams. "They'll be back," Zara warned. "Maybe," Ozan agreed. "But now they know we can hurt them. Now they know humanity has teeth." He stood and placed his hand against the bulkhead, feeling the faint warmth of Zara's consciousness distributed throughout the ship. "Thank you." Her hologram smiled sadly. "We're not done yet, Ozan. This was just the beginning." Outside, stars shone cold and eternal, indifferent to the war that had raged through their spaces. But somewhere in that darkness, humanity's enemies were learning to fear a single name: Retribution.